What's up, Midnight Strikers? How's it going? And you have no idea how glad it makes me to say this, but welcome back to another classic review. It's something I haven't said in a very long time, about a month and a half, give or take. But this time we are reviewing the final game, or the final episode in the second wave, Castlevania, right here. Been playing it all morning, can't get enough of it. And if the cover is any indication, this is a fantasy game with vampires and ghosts, and many other things, many other creatures, many other weapons, and much platforming. Very wow. I just made a Doge joke in one of my reviews. That's a first. Anyways, this is an awesome game right here. One of the best for the Nintendo Entertainment System. It is a golden classic. I could barely find it anywhere. Like I said, like I said in my Give 'em Hell review, I was looking for this game for cheap for about a year and a half on and off, but I couldn't find it for less than 18 bucks. I mean, even at my local Gaming Generations, this awesome store, I think I've shared it on my page before, in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, Wausau, Wisconsin, and I don't know where else, but I will update you guys if I ever find out. But anyways, even at my local game store, it was $17, which is cheaper than what I actually ended up getting it for, but I was looking for something along the lines of maybe $5, $10 for a game, especially a game that old. But I could not find it, so I got it for $20 online. Perfect condition, absolutely love it. Been playing it all morning, and I've got to say, it's got some really awesome music. Some of my favorites in gaming, especially the first level and the third level. I absolutely love them. Keep calm and rock on, guys, to Castlevania music. Woohoo! Anyways, so awesome music, really good platforming, but the control scheme could use a little bit of work. I mean, my favorite game for the control scheme was probably Castlevania 4 or Super Castlevania 4 with the controllable whip, and where the secondary button was actually mapped to something. In this game, however, you have to hold up, and it kind of gets in the way, especially when you're on the stairs. And man, oh man, James Rolfe AVGN was not kidding when he said your main enemy in the game will be stairs and pitfalls. Holy shit. Half the time I wouldn't have even died if not for those pitfalls that were placed in just the right location. I mean, you'll find yourself half the time just kind of walking and jumping along really narrow platforms or really small platforms, and a little bat or a ghost or something will knock you off. And when you get hit, you jump backwards about, like a foot or so, or an inch, a foot in game, I suppose, but it knocks you off the platform. That's one of those things that is very frustrating and pisses me off a lot, especially if I got far in the game. Now, it's a good thing that checkpoints are placed sporadically throughout the game, but then again, it's not too hard. It still has a lot of challenge and a lot of effort is required to beat this game, but it's not too hard. It's not too difficult, like, say, Ninja Gaiden. Anyways, yeah, I had a really bad cough there. But yeah, the music is good. The control scheme is a bit clunky in this, and it seems like, as opposed from the smooth Mario 3, which would come a little bit later. Even Mario 1 had a better control scheme than this, I suppose. But it just felt smoother to, run, jump. You felt like you had more control. In this, not so much. I mean, it feels like maybe like Metal Gear for the NES. I mean, not that bad, I suppose, as, there's more directions maybe programmed in here, and the controls are more responsive. But you get my drift. They're a little bit unresponsive and a little bit clunky, I suppose. Well, I shouldn't say unresponsive, but they are clunky. When it comes down to the main combat, however, you get a whip. You get many different incarnations of the whip. You can actually turn it into a chain, and an even longer chain, upon receiving all of these different upgrades. And of course, you can have your secondary weapons, which, as I said before, you press and hold the up button on the directional arrow pad, or the, in my case, the joystick on the NES Advantage, which I might actually do a review on. So, anyways, you hold that button, and then you press B, and then your weapons fire, your secondary weapons fire. I lost my train of thought right there. I apologize. And your secondary weapons fire. You have a variety of secondary weapons, a wide variety actually, And they each come in handy for different people, different bosses, different enemies, different scenarios. And it's really interesting how you can strategize which ones you're going to pick up and which ones you're not. However, you have to be very, and I mean very careful not to die, because then you will lose them, and then you will be stuck with whatever the next weapon is that you uncover. So there is that, but most of the time the weapons are placed in a strategic location where the upcoming boss, or the upcoming scenario, I should say, fix my camera a little bit, the upcoming scenario, the weapon will benefit you for it. So it's really interesting, I suppose, with that. But I do wish that they would have, would have had like maybe a better control scheme for the clunky controls, as well as maybe assigning the secondary weapon its own button. But then again, that's kind of hard to do when you only have like 2 buttons available, or 4 if you really include all the directional arrow keys. So basically, this is a really good game, but it suffers from, this is a really good game right here, show the cover again, but it suffers from a few downfalls, a few pitfalls, if you will. The stairs, the pitfalls, jumping back every 2 seconds after getting hit, unless you're on the stairs. For some reason, you don't jump back when you're on the stairs, you just flicker. So I don't know why they couldn't have transferred that into the actual rest of the game, but I digress. So those are basically the main gripes I have with this game, Castlevania 1 for the NES. But other than that, I mean, it's a really good game. It's a solid classic. It's got awesome boss music. It's got awesome enemies. It's got really good graphics for its time, especially back in, I think, 1986. That's what it was, 1987-ish, in that era. But, like I said, awesome graphics. Some of the best music on the NES. Some of the best 8-bit music you can find out there. And it's just a really badass time. I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10. Absolutely love it. So, with that, this is Midnight Strike 3625. Keep calm and rock on.